Hello Dan fans, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel, live from the Rutland Night Swim. Happy swimming.
Thank you, Ash, for the introduction. Rather you than me on so many levels. Swimming, open water swimming, swimming at night, training at night. Oh, just so many no's for me, but well done. You swam 4K in 1 hour 20. That was awesome swim, and something I probably can't do at the minute. Anyway, on to today's video. Today is Sunday and it's the end of the training week. And if I'm honest, I was absolutely done in yesterday. I've had a fair bit of time on the bike this week. Nothing really too hard, but it's just caught up with me a little bit. So I felt like I needed a bit of an easier day. So I haven't gone out with the club today. The club were doing about 70 miles. I think they were going up to Snake Pass. It was a great ride, but I'm just not up to it. So I have come out on the TT bike because I said a week or two ago, on the days when I'm going to go for an easy ride, I need to be getting the TT bike out to work in that position. I haven't ridden this bike since early August when I did the national 25 mile time trial champs. I need to be on it. I've got Outlaw Half Bowwood this weekend, in which I'm doing the relay, so I'm going to be on the bike, and then 2 weeks after that I've got the Outlaw Half X, which I'm going to be doing the full thing. So I need to get some time in on this bike, firstly to make sure everything still works and mechanically it's sound, and secondly to make sure that I still work and I'm mechanically sound, so that I can actually sit in the position and ride the bike. There's the comfort element, there's also the putting power out efficiently element. Both of those will have deteriorated. I haven't been this for weeks, but I've got a couple of weeks to try and sort that. So real easy ride today, but just taking the opportunity to go in position. Shout out. Unfortunately, because of the terrain near where I live, I have had to drive out sort of like 20 minutes, half an hour to be able to get on some flat roads. It's just because the gearing that I've got on is not ideal. I've got 58 tooth chainring. I have gone up to an 1128 on the back. I did used to run 1126. You might also recognise, and it might be in the title because I'm not entirely sure how today's video is going to go, I've got some different wheels on my bike. I probably will cover this later on in a quieter area, so I don't have to keep shouting because of these cars. But essentially these are Liz's wheels, so thank you Liz for, well she doesn't know, but I've stole her wheels, thank you Liz. So I've got a Zip 404 clincher front wheel and a Zip 808 clincher rear wheel. I've also got the Easy disc wheel cover on the back. Now my friend Clint runs the Easy Disc company and has also created the product. I love Clint. Not like that, a bit of a bromance maybe, but I've known him for years and years, and seeing him develop this product and that product affect his life is absolutely excellent. So I'm so stoked to be able to represent Easy Disc. I suppose I'm not sponsored by Easy Disc. Liz is, he gave the disc wheel cover to Liz, so thanks Clint, and thanks Liz for letting me steal it. I'm going to go out and test it today. I'm going to be using it in my next few events because I don't have any wheels, but as I said, I'll cover that later. But I want to get out and test it, just make sure everything works as it should. I know it does because Liz has used it and just took the wheel off her bike and put it on here, but got to be sure, haven't you? I'm probably going to do, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour, maybe not even that, I don't know, just a steady spin, just a working position, not doing any intervals or anything, just going to be spinning that legs over, recovering, but going on the fast bike for morale. I'm so bad at this, it's a good job I'm not on commission. If you would like to buy an Easy Disc and you don't want to pay $149.99, you could pay $134.99 by using the code WARD10, that's WARD10, gets you 10% off. Nothing my way, just a discount from Clint through me to you guys, so yeah, check them out. I'm also wearing my club skin suit today, which has got a bigger chamois in it than my tri-suit has, hoping it's going to be a bit more comfortable on the saddle. I think I was just struggling with my old skin suit rather than actually the saddle issue, but we'll see how it goes. Probably going to wear this next week, but I'm going to have to go to a tri-suit for Outlaw X. Anyway, enough procrastination, let's get on the bike. Okay, ride done and dusted. I did 35 whole minutes. To be honest, I felt really good, but I'm not going to make hay while the sun shines. I'm going to put the hay in the barn while the sun shines. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, I know I need to take an easy day, so that's what I'm doing, regardless of how I feel. I know what I've done the last few days. Anyway, wheels. Let's talk about why I am on different wheel sets. Now, whenever I tell this sort of story, I often fall into the trap of either speaking much faster than I normally already do, or cutting bits out the story because the video would be quite long otherwise. But I think I'm going to try and just tell the full story this time, so I apologise if this is long and boring. If it is, see you later. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock for something more interesting. If not, I hope you get all the information you need from this video, and I hope it helps people if possible. I don't know if it will or not, but yeah. I also want to put it out there, first of all, this is not a bashing of the manufacturer Hunt, who I bought some wheels from. They're absolutely brilliant in their customer service. Some issues with the product, but they did what they could. So a little while ago I had a Zip 808 front wheel and a Zip Super 9 rear wheel, both clinchers. I used them on my old bike, I used them on this bike. They were absolutely fine, but I wanted to go to a tubeless setup. I don't want to pop the can of worms that is tubeless versus clincher versus tubular, whatever, but I believe that in a race situation, tubeless is a good idea because there's a chance that a puncture might seal so you can get to the end of your event without stopping, but if it doesn't, you can put an inner tube in it. That's my thought process. So I wanted to go to a tubeless setup. The Zip wheels I had were not tubeless compatible. So at the beginning of this year, I started looking around for some tubeless wheels, disc wheels, deep section front wheels, mixture of both. And as you know, wheels aren't cheap, so I was looking at the second-hand market, what was coming up. There were plenty of different brands. I didn't know a huge amount about the different discs available. Then I was looking at also new wheels as well. So, you know, which brands have released new models, which brands have had a model on the market for a couple of years and got lots of reviews and stuff, all those sorts of things. I eventually settled on buying a wheel set from Hunt. So I've never used Hunt wheels before. A few people in the club do, so they came highly recommended. So I thought, you know what, yeah, fine, I'll give these a go. Price-wise, they're very competitive, sort of competitive like Parkour, Zero, CES, sort of that sort of level. A lot less than like your Zip, Envy, those sorts of wheels. But again, they had good reviews, so I thought, yes, great, let's give it a go. So I ordered, because I like having matching wheels. It's not a necessity to have the same brand, but I think it looks nice and I don't know, it's easy for maintenance. So I bought the Aerodynamic Assist 82mm front wheel. Then I bought their newly released rear disc wheel Hangfire. Before I bought that, I sent Hunt a video where I basically did this sort of thing, basically begged for free wheels. I didn't beg for free wheels. I saw that they'd released a new disc wheel, and I basically sent them some sort of pitch where I said, you know, I'm Daniel, I have a YouTube channel, I'm a very average triathlete, could we work together on the launch of a disc wheel? I'd love to be involved, something like that. Unfortunately, I didn't hear back from Hunt, but that's not a bashing of them at all. I took that as I need to think through properly if I'm trying to do pitches to companies or trying to, you know, get freebies or discounts or whatever. I need to actually put some real thought into how I'm going to approach that company, who I'm going to approach, in what way, what I'm going to give to them, and so on. So I left it at that, but we'll come back to that in a bit. So then, after a few weeks, didn't hear back from them. I thought, you know what, I still actually really want the wheel set. That's why I reached out to them. So I bought it. So I bought the 82mm front wheel and the disc wheel. The front wheel was in stock. It came within a handful of days or a couple of weeks or so. The rear wheel was not. It was a new item. They'd only just launched it. It was on pre-order. I think I ordered it at the beginning or middle of March, and the expected delivery was the end of June. There was a couple of events I was doing before then, but there was a couple of events I was doing afterwards. So I thought, you know what, it'll come at some point during summer. Of course, we're mid-COVID. That big ship got stuck in that canal and caused loads of issues for everybody. So all beyond Hunt's control. So, you know, what can you do? The shipping was also then delayed because of those things. Again, beyond their control. Not bashing them for that. It just happened. I eventually got the disc wheel. I think it was either the beginning of August, just before the National 25 TT. So when I got the disc wheel, I had held on to my 808 front wheel because I didn't want to sell it again, because if the Hunt wheel didn't come for any reason, I wanted to have a wheel set and so on. So the disc wheel came, fitted it, very excited, made a right mess in the bathroom, fitting the tubeless tyre, whatever. Fitted the wheel, and then quickly discovered that it wouldn't work properly, in that I couldn't get in first gear. Now this is an issue that I've mentioned once on the video, and I must have had 5 or 6 people message me saying they've had the same issues with this disc wheel. It's to do with ETAP, and it's to do with the width of the cage and where the mech sits when you're shifting. Basically, when I was going into first gear, my mech was touching the disc wheel, so if I'd have turned the wheel, it had gone and either broke the mech or scuffed the disc or whatever. So it didn't work. I got in touch with Hunt. You know, they're very responsive, thinking of different ideas. Obviously, it was a new product to them, so they weren't aware of this initially. Obviously, made them aware that I spoke to a couple of people who had the same issue. Some had SRAM 12 speed, some had SRAM 11 speed. I tested it on Lizard's Canyon, and that has Shimano 11 speed, and that was absolutely fine. So I was, you know, sharing this information with them, which they're grateful for. Obviously, they're doing their own testing throughout this time and everything else. Now, I'm not saying that this wheel is not compatible with SRAM. I'm sure there are people out there who have managed to make it work, and I know of a couple of good people who have. The things I tested were things like, they sent me a spacer to put behind the cassette, which sat the cassette out a little bit further. I think it was like 1mm or 1.25mm. Unfortunately, then I couldn't get the 11 sprocket to engage on the free hub, so that wasn't a goer. I also didn't really want to do that, because I thought if I'm changing the spacing of a cassette on my race wheel, I'd have to then do the same thing on my training wheels or re-index the gears every time. And with the mech touching the wheel, how it was then, if I was to put a 1mm spacer behind the cassette, that is the maximum gap that is behind the mech. It's between the mech and the wheel, 1mm. like that tolerance is not massive. And I was just sure that at some point, I'm doing events like Ironman Wales, some of the outlaw events got hills on, so I was sure that at some point I'd be out the saddle or doing whatever, and the mech would hit the wheel, cause some damage, and then it'd be my fault and my product that I've just damaged and devalued. So I just thought, I don't want this. This isn't a sufficient like fix. There's nothing, I can't use it. The other fix was, you know, just use second gear onwards until they work on a permanent resolution. Unfortunately, I'm not in the best power to weight shape I've ever been in my life, and that aside, I still want to use first gear. You know, that this wheel was £800, a lot of money. I wanted to be able to use the full range of gears, and I knew that if I was to come to a hill, I'd forget or go down one too many, and I'd have the same issue. So unfortunately, you know, after a few discussions with Hunt, they were very, very agreeable to me. I sort of said, you know, I'd bought the disc, and that was still within 60 days. They have a 60-day ride or return, so if you buy it, you don't like it for any reason, you can send it back even if you've used it. The front wheel, I'd used for the majority of the season, so I said, you know, I know I've used this, it's outside the 60 days. But I explained why I bought it, and they said, absolutely fine, send us back, we'll refund you. So thank you very much to Hunt. I have sent those wheels back. I missed anything in there? Yes, the bit about pitching to Hunt earlier in the year, I kicked myself because I thought if I'd done it better and done a better job of it, and they might have said yes, then I would have found this out at the beginning of the year, and I wouldn't have had this issue. In the middle of all this, I'd also, because of course disc wheels and carbon wheels aren't cheap, I'd also put my zip wheel set up for sale when I'd received my Hunt disc, because, you know, I've got thousands of pounds of wheels sitting around. Like, I don't want them all, like, you know, in the house. They're just sitting there, not used. I was thinking summer's coming to an end. The good time to sell wheels is during the summer. So I put the zip wheels up for sale. I had a bit of interest in them. So I was in the difficult situation where I had to decide whether to turn people away who were offering me money for these wheels, or to take them knowing that I haven't got a replacement disc wheel to use that actually works. So when somebody offered me some money for my 808 wheel set in the end, and then the disc separately, I'd say yes to it. So those wheels went, and then since then the Hunt wheels have gone back. So that has meant that I've gone from like 2 sets of wheels to no sets of wheels, hence why I'm using these. I am going to keep an eye out over the winter. I'm going to give it a bit more thought. I'm definitely looking for a tubeless wheel setup. I'm going to think about whether I can reach out to any companies, and if so, do I want to? Like, you know, what brands do I want to approach? Because I want to make sure that the equipment that I'm trying to get is equipment that I would have genuinely bought otherwise, as was with the Hunt wheels. You know, I asked them, they didn't come back to me, so I assume that's a no. So I bought them, and I think I should be, because I'm trying to be like honest and genuine to you guys. I don't want to be like, oh, I've got these wheels the mint just because they're free. I want to know that I'm picking the right products because I want to be able to recommend them wholeheartedly. So I'm just going to give that some thought over the next few months. I've only got a couple of races left this year, and I'm going to be using these wheels, so I can really give it some thought over winter. To throw another massive spanner in the works for other reasons involving this bike setup, I've got it in the back of my mind that I might consider going to a disc brake TT bike. I know, I've just painted this and just built it, etc. But it's just in my mind that because I've got no wheels for this at the minute, if I was going to take an opportunity to go to a disc brake bike, now's the opportunity. But I'm going to mull that over because that is not a cheap swap, and I love this bike. I've customised it and made it the nice colour, etc. So I'm going to give that some real thought. I think that is about it. So where am I at now? No wheels, need to buy some, need to find some. Gonna look into it. Gonna ride this for the time being how it is. I think that's it. If anybody's got any questions or anything, please do let me know down below. Drop any questions down below. But please don't, I can't emphasise this enough, please don't like slate Hunt. I don't want to hear about the bad experiences you've had with them or anything. That's really not what the point of this video is about. The point is just about that unfortunately the product wasn't right. They are going back to the drawing board, so they're going to redesign it or look into it. Basically it needs to be narrower, doesn't it? You know, they're going to come up with some sort of resolution there end. They weren't able to give me a time frame on that, so I thought, well, I ordered this in March, I got it in August, we're now talking, I'm gonna finish racing. I'm not waiting, having paid £800 for a rear wheel all winter with a wheel that I can't use, to be potentially into spring again, a year on from ordering it, not having a wheel. So I just thought, you know, I need to just let it go. Hunt were very kind, and they did say to me as part of the resolution, if they redesign it or come out with an updated model that does work with SRAM or with my SRAM setup, then I can buy one at the same price what I bought that one for. They won't bump me up any sort of list for deliveries, but they will take an order from me at the same price. I said, thank you very much, I can't ask for any more than that. And I think that's about it. I'll probably miss something. When I put this camera down, I'll remember something else, but I think that is it in a nutshell. It's a first world problem. I'm not standing here whinging about these wheels aren't working. Oh no, my expensive carbon wheels don't fit my TT bike. I'll get over it, and I'll still do it probably exactly the same performance at events, average. So yeah, anyway, there's a combine coming this way, so I'm going to do one. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM for, I don't know. See you later.